When looking at this photo, some people see a black man. Others recognize a war hero. Hi, I'm Earl Exum, President, International Aero Engines AG at Pratt & Whitney. I'm standing in front of an aircraft flown by the famous Tuskegee Airmen. These pilots earned more than 850 medals, including the Congressional Gold Medal of Honor. Yet, while achieving excellence while defending our country, they fought two wars, one against America's enemy and one against racism and injustice. Join me and the New England Air Museum in bringing the individual stories of the Tuskegee Airmen to life in a standing exhibit. The Tuskegee Airmen, Their Untold Stories.
What we are taught and what we see in the public isn't always in earnest what the truth is.
If I was not doing this interview, you wouldn't know the greatness that was in my father.
The truth about the airmen is that they are American heroes.
The original Tuskegee Airmen were escorts. They were out there protecting and helping the bombers and making sure that they were getting to the place they needed to be and helping to get them home safe. And that was something that was really, really an important part of their leadership.
No, it was never easy for these men. They were pioneers, and no pioneer has it easy. But many hoped they'd get the chance to fly and fight in the air. Some wanted that chance more than anything in the world.
Yesterday, I fulfilled one of my ambitions as a combat pilot. I got one airplane.
My father realized to join the Air Force that there had never been African Americans in the Air Force that had really been ever able to fly.
Because of what they look like, the color of their skin, they were not viewed as being capable.
They always believed that they had to go above and beyond, and that good was never good enough. They had to be excellent.
He knew the way to achieve was to work extra hard, work twice as hard as everybody else, and then you'd have a chance for success.
They fought lies. They fought heartbreak. And they won.
They were fearless.
They defied the odds. They showed that it was possible.
The Tuskegee Airmen were not only extremely skilled, I mean, these are people who had great hand-eye coordination. They were truly gifted fighter pilots, and they knew what they were doing because they had overcome so much to be able to get there. Weren't often allowed to go into the officers' mess and to be able to have the equal opportunities that the white pilots had once they were overseas. And it's just something that never really didn't make any sense to my father. He didn't understand it and didn't trust that he would be treated fairly by white America, even after the war, even after he'd sacrificed so much for his country.
I remember George Hardy, he told me that they couldn't even go in some of the restaurants. He was very light-skinned, so they would send him in to order all the food, and then he would order the food and bring it out.
It broke my heart to find out that a lot of them felt like the treatment they got over in Europe was leaps and bounds better than the treatment that they got back home.
When my dad came home from the Air Force, he had his mind set on going to the University of Chicago Law School. And when he showed up, they rejected him. And it was because they really didn't want African Americans in the law school at that time in history. But the next day he showed up in his captain's uniform and convinced them to give him a test. And his dream came true. They accepted him and he was able to go to the best law school in the country at the time.
My dad wanted to be an airplane pilot more than anything in the whole wide world. He wanted to fly, and he applied to one of the big airlines, I'm not going to say which one, and he got a letter in black and white that I actually saw that said, "We do not accept Negroes no matter how many hours they have."
There probably would have been that same reaction if people were to board a plane and see a black pilot. Oh no. Oh no.
And in the 50s and 60s, there were no black pilots, even though many of them had been trained in the military, in the Air Force. So he never flew.
I am Bill Costin. I was a good friend of Lemuel Custis, one of the Tuskegee Airmen. He introduced himself as a Tuskegee Airman. I said, "What's a Tuskegee Airman?" And he hit me in the stomach. So, "What do you mean, what's a Tuskegee Airman?" And I didn't know. I had no idea what a Tuskegee Airman was. We became friends.
I would like for you to see young men who grew up and made a difference because they were willing to take a risk. And because they took that risk, they provided opportunities not only for themselves and each other, but for their families and their children.
The focus that they needed to be able to not only go through the most intense pilot training program that is out there, but to do it in a segregated environment. And for us to be here now, standing on the backs of all those giants and all the work that they've done, it's incredible. It was no longer surprising to see someone that looked like me go through training or become a pilot because of all that they did.
By highlighting these extraordinary accomplishments by these African-American success stories and giants of World War II really helps to reinforce not only the unfairness they faced, but the talent that's there when given a chance. Excellence will shine through.
The Tuskegee Airmen did have to fight in order to serve, and that service was fighting for the country, but it's still going on to some extent nowadays, where as a people we have to be better, we have to be exceptional in order to sometimes just be accepted.
So we need to keep reminding the broader citizenry of our country, they have to have their eyes and ears open for the current discrimination that is still there.
A lot of museums have statistics and everything, but we are really concentrating on telling the stories of the Tuskegee Airmen.
As a military pilot, their presence and their story inspired me every single day. There was not a moment that I went by when I put this uniform on as a military aviator that I don't think about their story and think about how I would not be here if it was not for them. And to let them know that they paved the way for individuals like me to be able to continue a career in military aviation. And I just hope that I can continue to be an example of everything that they did and to continue to share their story.
Contributing to this project, I think is important because you don't really have the opportunity to go purposefully into your future unless you understand where it is that you came from. So please join us, help us by making this exhibit a reality.
I'm Claudia Ann Highball. I am the daughter of Richard Highball and the niece of Earl Burton Highball, both of whom were Tuskegee Airmen.
My name is John W. Rogers, Jr. I am the son of Tuskegee Airman John W. Rogers.
My name is Leslie Radcliffe, and I am the daughter of Lloyd Leslie Radcliffe, Tuskegee Airmen.